we'd like to sincerely thank our Patreon supporters. Hey, what's going on, everyone? I am standing in front of my 2017 F-250, and I think we need to say goodbye to it. I am currently truck shopping. I am looking at downsizing because of the drive between here and Jupiter that I'm doing 2 and 3 times a week. It's too much truck to do that hour commute back and forth all the time. And I'm not saying goodbye to lifted trucks. If I, well, I should say, I'm looking at the F-150, four-wheel drive, no lift, hopefully something with black rims and a black grille. I really like that look. The Ram 1500 with the Hemi. Or I never in my life would have said this, but I don't know, talking to more friends, I am open to it. The Toyota Tundra with the black grille and black rims, because I think that one I'm the least afraid of putting north of 100,000 miles on it. I think I put 30,000 miles on my truck this last year because of commuting back and forth to Jupiter every day when I was doing it 7 days a week. I just stacked the miles on that truck. And so it's still under 100,000 miles, but it's at the point where after 100,000, its value is going to drop. So I am waiting for dealerships to call me back, trying to work out the right interest rate and trade in and all that good stuff. More stressful crap, really. I'm standing in front of the shop. I've gotten the headers done on the inside, and I'm starting to go up with the 3/4 plywood. Still haven't strapped it, but I got 3 more sheets I want to get hung this afternoon. And you can see the headers are now done on the inside. And those 2x6s, people were questioning the strength of those headers. Those 2x6s go down inside there. They're actually notched. So, and they were saying, obviously, normally a header is a couple 2x12s sandwiched, or two 2x12s with plywood sandwiched in the middle or whatever. And obviously it will never sag, but this only needs to not sag. Technically the roll-up door is mounting on the side to the inch thick of plywood that I'll have on the inside. That's grabbing that 6x6 post. The strength of it there isn't a problem. And where the track mounts, the track is mounting to, again, there's 2 half-inch sheets of plywood that'll be stacked. So 1 inch of plywood, the tracks are getting screwed into this. And it's just gonna be massively strong. And someone else talked about the load rating, like how I'm supporting the roof. This structure is designed to not support the roof at all and sustain hurricane winds. So what I'm doing on the front, tying into it to support the doors, is only making it stronger, only adding more support. But like, I don't have to go crazy with it because it was already designed to support itself. But this is probably one of the dealerships calling. Hey, let's pause. Let me get this phone call. I'm kind of excited about it. All right. It was one of the Toyota dealerships. It's funny. They either want to give you the right trade-in and discount the truck, but a horrible interest rate, or a good interest rate, a crappy trade-in. Like, it's, you can't check all 3 boxes, and it all ends up being a wash. So it's confusing for me right now. I've never turned in a perfectly good running truck that looks great and then still had such a significant payment. So what these trucks cost right now is, it's really insane. And I'm not looking at like a crazy trimmed out truck. My truck right now has vinyl seats and vinyl floors because of my lifestyle. That's what works in my lifestyle. I do have to watch leaning up against this pool because I have seen wasps going in and out, so I know we're gonna have to deal with wasp nests. But I've already started cutting out some of the liner in this pool, and they've got some play sand underneath there. And I think if I could demo this pool and take a big tarp, I can start moving some of this lumber that is taken up and I've said in past videos, like I need to use up this lumber anyway, but I do need to start clearing out what is underneath this, because I also need to start, it'd be nice if I had all the money set aside to do this and I could just pay someone to pour a slab under here. But where I might do something very creative and do my outside form and pour this section by section and just do it myself. You'd have to cut relief cuts in it. So why don't, if I form them all together, technically it'll have its reliefs if anything settles or moves or whatever. And I can, you know, like almost like fish scale it, where my form is an arch, and just work through this whole thing as like fish scales and just keep working it back. As long as I have my outside form, I should be able to get a nice straight edge on my forms and level it all out. And then just mix and pour myself, 4 inches thick, get this all leveled out good and do it that way. So obviously I don't need this pool. I mean, I mentioned doing some sort of big crystal clear freshwater pond here with fish or whatever, something like Kenan has in his backyard, but I have my other pond. Like, I mean, that box is really already checked. Here's what I'm thinking. My garage is full of cages of grow out animals and stuff, and I have babies in my house. Now I put food out for the babies in the morning if I swim them in the morning, and a couple hours later, because that aquarium with the heat and humidity in there turns into a little sauna, starts smelling like sour chicken or sour eggs or whatever, and I cannot stand the inside of my house smelling like that. I think I want to build a greenhouse. Now again, it's not going to be a first tier project. This is going to be down the road. But if we built a greenhouse over here, we wouldn't have to do anything with the front porch of the house. I could start young plants in there. It could be my controlled house for the babies, for the raise outs. As long as I have a little porch where they can get sun, front or back of it, where I can roll the cages out of the greenhouse, close the door, let them have natural sun, roll them in at night, just like I'm doing out of my garage. I mean, really, my garage, I've got a trailer full of kayaks in there. And when the Jeep is done, the Jeep should park inside the garage. Like, these vehicles should be in the garage, and that's what my garage should be for. It shouldn't be full of cages. And in the back of the greenhouse, we should also be able to do the enclosure for the albinos. And I want to add a third animal to that mix and give him a second female. Whether it's a coral or, I don't know. Mix something else in there, even if we produce all hets, something that, like a mix of sulfur, mix a something that has a really great pattern, but they're het for T-negative albino, where that's a more desirable animal and it puts a little bit better price tag on it. Might be a good female to put with that male. Right now, that after that last fight, I kind of chickened out putting them together, so she's going to produce unfertilized this time around. And I mean, again, with that divorce getting so stressful at the very end, I think I have another week from today, or another 2 weeks from today, is when the judge puts his stamp on it. So like we're almost through all of that stress. But I think we're gonna take this pool apart and try and fit as much as we can in trash cans today, and then maybe we'll just have some piles of stuff to bring out to the road weekly until it's all gone, and then we can go through that lumber and pile it up neatly and keep it under a tarp where it's all safe. It should stay somewhat dry in there and good. But that's what I'm gonna get started on. All right, so for now I can still use the ladder of this pool. And every other time, oh, you know what I forgot is the wasp spray. Well, it was wet the last time I was in here. At least all that's done. And I I would like to not use that ladder. So if I could cut some of this metal, at least an opening, I think I'll end up cutting it into those small panels so it's all easier. Well, that's where the wasp nests are. Look at that. That's the first nest, but no wasps on that one, luckily. There's just still a little bit more to that aluminum, so maybe I'll try the next panel and then I'll be able to wiggle a piece out. I'll shut you guys off for that because that I know was awfully loud. All right, I changed into a metal blade and it cut it way easier. We got the one panel off so I don't have to use the stairs anymore. So I'm gonna go back and cut off the rest of this liner. We'll have to fold it up better. Outside. And it all cuts pretty easy. Real easy. If I cut it into corners, it should be somewhat manageable to get into a trash can. So I just found out that Tom's gonna be stopping by, so we may even get to see Tom in this video. He's out riding his motorcycle and going for a ride around the lake. All right, so let me finish cutting out this liner and then we'll start taking this frame apart. So one of the next things I'm gonna take apart is this ladder. And I'm just gonna take all the screws off that I could find and then see how it comes apart. I know I've mentioned on other videos I'm allergic to bees and wasps, and I definitely, through banging on stuff, I already have the wasps already pretty fired up, flying around all pissed off. You see a bunch right over here. Ugh. Fun. I love that for me. Oh look, there's some flying out right by that stair there. I think I have my spray right here. Ooh, that one just flew by me. So I'm gonna take apart the stairs and then start taking apart some of the panels. And at a certain point, I'm gonna have to stop and do battle with some of these wasps. Watch where they're flying in and hopefully spray their nest. I'll watch where that guy goes. All right, so I got the ladder fully taken apart, and I mean, I don't know if you guys can see, the wasps going crazy in there. They are going bananas. I was taking everything apart. I got the rest of the liner and stuff out of the middle, but the wasps had me cornered in there, and I was literally spraying wasp spray in every direction, trying to keep them away from me. So I think I'm gonna do it out here, where I can actually run away from a wasp when it comes after me. So I may start, the wasp nests are way tucked up in there, and there's also a lot of cool tree frogs. There's a mud daubler nest right there, but that's, there's tree frogs all over in this thing. In fact, when it was raining a lot, the whole bottom of this pool was full of tadpoles. So I'm gonna start peeling back the sides now. All right, making some more progress. But we just got a phone call from a buddy of mine who's got a couple bass. And I know I was warned by somebody not to put speckled perch in my pond. I can't remember exactly why. And I want to listen to people. But what harm can it be? If they're not doing well in there, you can always catch them out and then feed them to the animals. But they're native here, This is just isn't a massive body of water for them, so I know they move to deeper water and shallower water, but I see up north that they're in smaller ponds. I wish I remembered the reason, but my buddy said he kept them, so I think he has 15 of them and a couple bass, so we're gonna let them loose in the pond, and then I'll be back at it over here. All right, guys, we got back from my buddy David Straight's house. I think we put 8 to 10 black crappie in the lake, and I think I did say that before. That is a native fish to the area. In fact, Lake Okeechobee is pretty famous for the crappie fishing, or speckled perch fishing. I think crappie is just a slang for them. Not that they're crappy, they're actually delicious. They're really good to eat. But I've also been back and forth on the phone with the car dealerships, and I'm 90% sure I'm getting a Toyota Tundra. And for all the viewers out there that are all about American made and everything, like everything I usually own, it's all American vehicles. I've actually never owned in my entire life, well, other than four-wheelers and side-by-sides. I have had some Kawasaki's and stuff like that, but for the most part, Ford, Dodge, Chevys and stuff my entire life. But for the commute that I have to do, the miles I'm gonna put on it, that will be my stock vehicle for traveling and stuff like that. And don't forget, we're gonna build a 53 Dodge Power Wagon with a twin turbo Cummins on this channel. That's as American as you can get right there. And I think it's some massive air ride suspension, 8 to 12 inches on 42-inch tires, but I may bump it up to 49s once I see it all together. It's sitting on 42s right now. In fact, we need to get it to this property right after we finish the surf skis. So we will get started on that. But this is our space. And seeing it open, if I could step back, Pete's not behind me, it actually looks really nice between the house and what will be the bar area. If we just did a nice soft path through there with some maybe tropical plants right here, and maybe do the greenhouse somewhere else. But if we did, I mean, we could totally do 12 to 14 by 20. I have the tape measure sitting out here, and you know, I still have to take down this little pump house. I'll save that equipment because we actually could use this to filter and move our water out there when we do our other system. Or maybe someone's going to tell me that these pumps are garbage and we may have to get better pumps and filtration, but we do have it, and I like to make use of what I already have. We still have to see if it even works, but this lays out nice in this space. And this pool was crowding between the house and the shop, but it's something to think about. And while we're talking about future projects, you know, way back we mentioned the Hobbit house project and doing something cool so we can do the Wolf's World experience. I'm not closed off to it. It's still on the table. Obviously, we still have a lot to finish before we get to that point. But I could always find a different property here in the vicinity in Okeechobee and house people just a little bit down the street. I could build the greenhouse in that area, and then it doesn't feel like it's, and then I could actually do an outdoor garden in the area next to the greenhouse. So if I started plants in there, I could move things outside of the greenhouse and have a garden area over there, which would be cool. It would be separate from our animals too. Well, even though we would have the youngs over there, it's an idea. You know me, I'm always thinking, changing, stuff like that. But tomorrow I'm either getting that truck or I'm gonna finish tearing all the rest of that off and at least getting those 3 sheets up, and then maybe finishing it on Monday. Because I've got to get started on those surf skis. That was supposed to be a February 1st project, and I think we're already on the 2nd. So lots to do. All right, guys, until next time. Thanks for watching, everyone. Please don't forget to like, comment, share, subscribe, and ring the notification bell. See you soon.